FBI grooms a mentally challenged teen into becoming an ISIS terrorist. Can you believe it? What's up, all my fellow lunatics out there? I'm Rational Lunatic. You heard it correct. It's not clickbait. It's true. It's blue. It's official corruption news, and we're bringing you that story right now. So this story we're about to read here, it's just wild, man. I mean, it's seriously just wild. So, the FBI found this teen, and this teen, you know, he was 16. He was having trouble in school. He's mentally kind of slow. He was looking for acceptance somewhere, looking for an outlet, somewhere to get rid of some aggression, just whatever. I don't know. He must have been looking on some websites or something, but got on the FBI's radar, and because of that, they started grooming him to funding ISIS with and get this, with gift cards like Xbox gift cards and stuff. Mostly in the summer, about $25. A couple, I guess, were around $45, and over 2 years, it summed out to a few $100s, not thousands. You heard it correctly, a few $100. And basically, it wasn't even to fund them, from what I understand. It was to support his trip to go to to meet up with ISIS. But not only did he not go the two times he was supposed to go, he apparently backed out, came up with some lame excuse. They knew he was lying. He was, got cold feet, backed out. Not only that, but on the second time he was supposed to go, he backed out, and then called the FBI and tried to become an informant against his FBI agent, who was the supposed ISIS terrorist he was working with, that he was talking to. Um, I mean, you really can't make this up. It is what it is, I guess. I don't know. It's just all I can say. It's wild. Um, Anyhow, don't forget to hit that like button. Um, you can catch me on YouTube, TikTok. I'm currently trying to build a subreddit. I need moderators and stuff. So if anybody's interested in that, hit me up in the comments. And as I read along, let me know what you guys think of this story. I really would love to hear y'all's opinion on this. As all my stories are, this one just another wild one. I mean, stuff you really can't believe is going on is going on. So yeah, I mean, let's get it. The FBI groomed a 16-year-old with brain development issues into becoming a terrorist. An undercover FBI agent befriended the teenager online. When he turned 18, he was arrested for supporting ISIS. All right. The Department of Justice announced the arrest of a teenager in Massachusetts on allegations of providing financial support to the Islamic State group. A flurry of reports picked up on the arrest of Mateo Ventura, an 18-year-old resident of the sleepy town of Wakefield, echoing government claims that an international terrorist financier and ISIS supporter had just been busted in the United States. Oh yeah, they got one here, guys. They got one real good. Oh my God. The Department of Justice's own press release on the case likewise trumped Ventura's arrest for knowingly concealing the source of material support or resources that he intended to go to a foreign terrorist organization. Yeah, so they're saying that he concealed the source because he claimed he was talking to ISIS. He told the FBI, I got information, but he wanted to get paid for information. Which, I mean, they have the whole Crime Stoppers thing. It's not. I don't see how, as a young teen, it'd be unfathomable to think, oh, you can get paid for some serious information on a terrorist group trying to recruit teens of the United States. But no, it's not a terrorist group. It's a United States federal group. I mean, okay. The only problem with the case and how it has been described, however, is that according to the government's own criminal complaint, Ventura had never actually funded any terrorist group. The only terrorist he is accused of ever being in contact with was an undercover FBI agent who befriended him online as a 16-year-old, solicited small cash donations in the form of gift cards, and directed him not to tell anyone else about their intimate online relationship, including his family. The arrest has shaken his family, who denied allegations that their son was a terrorist and said that he had been manipulated by the FBI. Ventura's father, Paul Ventura, told The Intercept that Mateo suffered from developmental issues and had been forced to leave his school due to bullying from other students. I mean, yeah, the father says he was manipulated. You know, I could give you my opinion, but I'd really love to know what yours is. I mean, as I read on, as we get through this, I mean, what do you think? Was he manipulated, or was this a justifiable thing for the FBI to do to groom this child into, you know, thinking he's joining ISIS and accepting these, gift cards from him, and then, doing this for 2 years and arresting him? I mean, to me, I don't know. That just, to me, it kind of seems like a waste of taxpayer money, but that's just my opinion. He was born prematurely. He had brain developmental issues. I had to school. I had the school due to a. Oh, excuse me. This is father speaking. I had the school do a neurosurgery evaluation on him, and they said his brain was underdeveloped. Ventura said he was suffering endless bullying at school, with other kids taking food off his plate, tripping him in the hallway, humiliating him, and laughing at him. Contrary to the sensational narrative fed to the news media of terrorist financing in the U.S., the charging documents show that Ventura gave an undercover FBI agent gift cards for pitifully small amounts of cash, sometimes in $25 increments, in his initial bid to travel to the Islamic State. The teenager balked, making an excuse by the FBI's own account to explain why he did not want to go. When another opportunity to travel abroad arose, Ventura balked again, staying home on the evening of his supposed flight instead of traveling to the airport. By the time the investigation was winding down, he appeared ready to turn his purported ISIS contact, an FBI agent, into the FBI. Okay. There is still much that remains to be known about Ventura's case, which remains in its early stages. More information may still come to light as it moves to discovery and trial. I mean, they're really charging this kid, with a very serious offense, and he's looking at time, like a long time for gift cards, for trying to, you know, find some place to belong, looking obviously in the wrong place. I'm not condoning what this kid did at all. It's not right what he did, of course. But prison time for gift cards, and then, coming to his senses, I would imagine, and trying to turn, the group in. I mean, I don't know. So, more information may still come to light as it moves to discovery and trial, including about his dealings with the FBI and other activities online. yeah, I'm really curious to see, what the discovery is, what the full case shows. I mean, what was he looking at how to build bombs? You know, I mean, there could be a lot more here than what meets the eye, but as far as it's looking pretty screwed up on the FBI's part. But again, we don't have all the documents in front of us, so we can't really speculate too far. All we can do is read what we have here and then go from there. I mean, and if you guys want me to cover this story as it moves along, let me know, and I'll definitely do more research and find out everything I can figure out about the case and bring it to you personally. Yet, based on the government's own account of what led to Ventura's arrest, there is reason to believe that his case is less a serious terrorism bust than one of the many instances in which a troubled or mentally unfit young man was groomed by undercover FBI agents to commit a crime that would not have otherwise happened. I mean, yeah, was he looking on the wrong website, and he would never really would have found anything if it weren't for them, putting something in his face. Um, I mean, and as we go on, you guys are gonna love this because it does go through some of the text messages they had together, and I mean, it just gets this story just gets so much more ridiculous as we read on. So let's continue. I mean, and real quick, so they're saying one of the many instances in which a troubled or mentally unfit young man was groomed by undercover agents. So I'm assuming from this report this has happened before, like they've done stuff like this before. And if they have, I mean, what's going on? I mean, what's our tax money really going to? Because that's I don't feel very protected from someone like this. This law enforcement tactic has been criticized by national security researchers who have scrutinized the FBI's role in manufacturing terrorism cases using vulnerable people who would have been unable to commit crimes without prolonged government assistance and encouragement. A 2014 Human Rights Watch report criticizing the use of informants in terrorism investigations said in this way the FBI may have created terrorists out of law abiding individuals. This FBI tactic was a mainstay of terrorism prosecutions for roughly 2 decades. So this tactic was one of their like main types of prosecutions for around 20 years. So since 9/11, they've been kind of inducting this forceful grooming process, which I mean they knew how old he was when he was 16 and 17. At any time they could have informed the father, and I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think something like this, like, I don't think it's necessarily bad to maybe scout people out that are actively looking into terrorist groups or something like that. Like if they're looking to, not just looking into them, but looking into them in a manner of possibly, becoming a terrorist. But shouldn't the parents be notified? You know, um, I don't know. What do you guys think? While its use lately has waned, the Ventura case may indicate that authorities are still open to conjuring terrorists where none existed. There is still significant use of informants and undercover agents in FBI investigations who aren't just gathering information about potential crimes but are actively suggesting ideas for crimes or making it easier for people to do the things that they claim they want to do, said Naz Ahmad, acting director of the Creating Law Enforcement Accountability and Responsibility, or CLEAR, project at the City University of New York School of Law. There are documented cases where the government has provided people everything that they needed to execute a plot. Informants and undercover agents have often been used as a tool in these investigations, to prod things along. Paul Ventura said that in 2021, armed FBI agents from visited his home. From the FBI, visited his home, informed him that his son had been browsing websites. Okay, so they did let the father know that he shouldn't be looking at, and connected him with what they said was a counselor. Hold on. So they told the father that his kid was looking at websites he shouldn't be looking at, and claimed that they had connected him with a counselor. After the initial visit, he said he had no knowledge of his son's ongoing communications with the FBI undercover agent online. So they told the father he was looking at, terrorist websites, and said they connected him with a counselor, and all they were doing was grooming him at that point. 2 years ago, the FBI came to my house and they took his computer and said he's on these sites he shouldn't be on. We said okay, and he wasn't arrested at that time or anything. I didn't hear from them again after that, but I guess over time things escalated, said Paul Ventura. I wasn't home a lot because I work, and he wasn't at school because of the bullying. Instead of them telling me that he's doing what he's doing online and to take his computer away, they let him keep doing it. The facts of the case against Mateo Ventura, laid out in the government's criminal complaint, detail how his relationship developed with the FBI. In August 2021, when he was 16 years old, Ventura began communicating with an undercover FBI agent online. He told the agent of his desire to make hijra, or migrate to territories under control of the Islamic State. By the time of the discussion, ISIS had been largely vanquished in its home territories of Iraq and Syria, though it is not clear whether Ventura had been aware of this. According to the Department of the Justice complaint, an undercover FBI agent impersonating an ISIS member communicated to the 16-year-old in broken English, encouraging his decision and expressly telling him not to inform anyone else about their online conversations, including friends or family. The criminal complaint in the case describes the exchange between Ventura and OCE, or the FBI employee acting in an undercover capacity. here's some of those texts. Ventura: I reached out to brother for hijra, migration. I don't know if it is still possible, but if it is, I know it will take some time. OCE: OCE: Inshallah, if Allah wills it. I help you, but before talk, have rule, my brother. You must no talk about what's said here or intention to anyone, no tell family, no tell friend, no tell inwan. Brothers at Masjid Mosque, no one this for both our safety. Intention stay between you and Allah Azawajal, the mighty and the majestic. Ventura continued chatting with the undercover agent about what he could do for ISIS, including potentially fighting for them in a foreign country. The two settled on him buying a $25 Google Play gift card and sending the redemption code to the FBI agent. At the FBI's direction, the 16-year-old also recorded an audio file of himself elaborately pledging allegiance to the leader of ISIS and transmitting the audio recording over the chat. Over the next year or two, Ventura continued sending small amounts of cash through gift cards to the FBI agent, mostly through gaming stores like Steam, PlayStation Network, and Google Play. I said Xbox, I guess PlayStation. The amount of his small transactions, which spanned over roughly 2 years, added up to a total of ding 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 $965 during the time that he was a juvenile, and another $705 after he became a legal adult. So, around $1,500, $1,600. All the while, Ventura's conversations with the FBI undercover operative online continued, including promises to make a passport and assurances that he would teach himself Arabic very fast in case he traveled to Egypt on behalf of the group. That's what he said. He would teach himself Arabic, quote unquote, very fast. In the end, Ventura appeared to get cold feet. In September 2022, when he was 17 years old, he told the agent that he could no longer go for Hijra because he had been hurt very bad, quote unquote, very bad in fall and can no longer walk. The injury was an excuse that the FBI, which, according to the affidavit in the case, interviewed Ventura 6 days thereafter, concluded he had made up by the teen, or had been made up by the teen. In January of 2023, just after his 18th birthday, Ventura got back in touch with the FBI agent on the encrypted messaging platform, apologizing for not being communicative in previous months after his supposed injury. Ventura again said he wanted to travel to the Islamic State. The pair discussed the possibility of him dying in an attack by ISIS fighters somewhere in the world or attending a training camp. So, yeah, he didn't talk to him for a while after making his first excuse up, and he probably got lonely. Obviously, he has no real friends, he has no one to talk to. His dad's always gone to work. I'm not sure where his mother's at all the time, or if she's even in the house at this point, but he's looking for someone to talk to and reaches out to the only person he can think of. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. I'm not. This is just my speculation at this point. At the FBI undercover operative's direction, Ventura took a video of himself and sent it over the chat, telling the agent that he had a beard now. The FBI agent praised the performance, saying Ventura was quote unquote strong and looked sick like lion. Ventura sent the FBI operative another $25 Google Play gift certificate, which he was assured would be used for jihad, before trying and failing to book several flights due to apparent lack of access to a credit card. On April 10th this year, Ventura finally succeeded in booking a Turkish Airlines flight to Egypt. But instead of boarding the flight, or even leaving his residence on the night it was scheduled, Ventura contacted the FBI's National Threat Operations Center and reported a tip stating in a rambling message that he wanted $10 million in duffel bags in exchange for information on future terrorist attacks. Quote unquote, I know, sick, you thought I am retarded fool, but joke's on you, I will not admit I sent this or communicate until the cash is delivered. The message said according to the criminal complaint in the case. By this time in the investigation, Ventura had not only seemingly developed cold feet about joining the group, but appeared eager to sell out his supposed ISIS contact to law enforcement. Ventura called the FBI again several times in the coming days, telling them that he wanted to help with terror and again offering to help stop a future ISIS terrorist attack and to provide information about people who were facilitating travel for the group in exchange for cash and legal immunity for himself. So the whole time they're running a scam on him and grooming him, it almost sounds like he was running his own undercover operation on the FBI or on ISIS, trying to, if I were an attorney, I would make the argument he was trying to collect information on ISIS or people trying to help ISIS so he could turn them in. I mean, it just doesn't get better than this. I mean, not for this kid. This poor kid's facing some really messed up garbage right here. But I mean, the story, it couldn't get much better. On April 20, according to the affidavit, he was informed in a phone call from the FBI that the information he had provided was not specific and therefore not actionable. So the information he provided wasn't specific enough or actionable, but it was good enough for them to arrest him. Okay. Meanwhile, as his attempts to blow the whistle on the FBI's own informant in exchange for millions of dollars of cash appeared to stall, Ventura also continued communicating with their undercover operative online, apologizing for missing his flight to Egypt and inquiring about other ways he might travel to join ISIS. It does sound like he was trying to find more, stall and get more information from them so he could, screw ISIS over and turn them into our government. On May 16th, he sent another Google Play gift card to the agent with a value of $45. These interactions continued until Ventura was arrested in early June and charged with one count of knowingly concealing the source of material support or resources to a foreign terrorist organization, reference to the gift card donations he had spent years sending to the FBI during their chats online. Although news reports echoed the Justice Department's portrayal of the arrest as the foiling of a nascent Islamic State funding operation in the U.S., there is no indication in the allegations against him that Ventura had ever been in touch with the terrorist group. Following his arrest, Ventura's father told reporters outside the courthouse that his son was being railroaded. It does sound like it. And quote unquote, 100% a loyal American. Ventura now faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted of the charges of providing material support to a terrorist group. 10 years. This kid's looking at losing his entire, young adulthood, his 20s for this, whatever you want to call this. Cases of ISIS operatives being arrested in the U.S. have become increasingly rare following the group's defeat several years ago in Iraq and Syria. Even in the peak of the ISIS influence, many terrorism cases have been criticized for utilizing entrapment and grooming tactics against people that seem to cross the line into both encouraging and facilitating them to break the law. Despite growing security from the public and civil rights groups, those tactics had never been reformed. More information may still come out in Ventura's case about his own actions leading up to his arrest, based on the FBI's own account of what took place. However, depictions of Ventura as a dangerous terrorist fundraiser currently spreading in the press are hard to deem credible. I'll say. The picture that emerges in the charging documents is instead the more familiar tale of an impressionable, vulnerable young man, legally a child at the point of the investigation began, groomed by FBI undercover agents online to break the law and generate flashy headlines in the aftermath. Sounds like an agent tried to build a name for herself, definitely. Quote, that kid has special needs. He got bullied out of school, unquote. Ventura's father told The Intercept, quote unquote, he needs help. Wait, before you go on about your day, don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment. Let me know, what do you guys think of this wild case. I mean, isn't it? Isn't it just wild? Ah, I didn't even realize they were really doing this. I mean, I know, you know, I know how the government watches us as getting, more and more intrusive per se, but grooming a mentally challenged kid into funding ISIS who doesn't even really exist anymore with gift cards, uh, and charging him where he's looking at, up to 10 years in prison. I mean, Jesus, what? And then to have that on his record the rest of his life, he'll never get a job. I mean, you get flagged as a terrorist. That's one of few things you can get flagged with and just be have your whole life torn apart. So anyway, that's it from me, Rational Lunatic. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And until next time, what the fuck?